eagle-eyed amongst you, I'm going to get this out the way. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice in that intro credit, and I only realised it 2 minutes ago, that I'd put one by Jordan Henderson, and I thought I'd put the 0 by Aaron Cresswell's mug, but
well, listen, as I said to you when we noticed it a minute ago, we could have gone with, and now you've ruined it, but we could have gone with it. We could have had 5. That could have said anything from nothing to 5. Let's not lie.
I'd have said 3 would have been more likely. We had 3 golden opportunities yesterday. And I'm saying this as a guy that if anybody watched the pre-match, I was probably being a little bit cynical, a little bit negative.
Justifiably so.
But I was, yeah, exactly. I think it was with good reason, because our historical record up there and everything else just sort of pointed to us getting annihilated. Liverpool's current form, our current form, etc., etc. Didn't happen. And especially when you consider that there was no Declan Rice, Duke.
No, and I'll be honest with you, mate. There's a comment.
Mr. Miles?
It's a comment down from Larry. And I'm
so that's why we're late.
Yeah. Mr. Fair. Cox messaged me.
Fair. Larry, hope you're well, mate. Good luck with the butt.
No, Larry said to me, Larry put it there, didn't he, about it being a missed opportunity. Now, I watched the pre-match yesterday, okay, between with Gio and Gonzo. I watched their pre-match yesterday.
Yep.
And Gonzo, I think he spoke the words that were rolling around in my head, to be honest with you. What he was saying was that it wasn't so much about the result, it was more about the performance. It was whether those players show up and show that, you know what, I still want my jersey come Thursday night. Not that we can rotate much, but that's not the point. But they turned up, and to a man, mate, that first half they showed up. Second half, I still think the performance was good, but not as good as the first half. But that being said, I thought the first half we could have scored. Well, we could have actually scored five shots on target in the game. All came in the first half, by the way. We actually had, with regards to those stats, a better first half than Liverpool had. Although they got the goal on the board, they had 10 shots on target, 10 shots, 3 on target, 1 goal. We had 10 and 5 on target. You know, and as I said to you a few hours ago, actually, when we started the conversation about when we were going live, some of the criticisms that I've seen online.
I got to be honest, I haven't seen this, and I'll be completely honest, and I'm going to own up to something. I went on with Peach yesterday in the immediate aftermath of the game. I'd just come back. My wife and I went to a place you'll know, the Brent Club, to watch it. We watched it there, and there were some Liverpool fans in. There was a couple of West Ham fans in. I was very, very angry. I'll be honest. I was angry after the game because I looked at it and I was like, those 3, like I say, I'm going to count 3 golden opportunities, like 3 proper chances with a capital C. The other chances were chances with a small c, but I'm going to say we had 3 major chances to score a goal and didn't manage to get one of them in the onion bag. And that was what angered me. I wasn't angry at the performance. I really couldn't have been angry at the performance. But not one of those shots were really... They were golden opportunities, but they weren't put away. That's the long and the short of it. We should have at least got a draw yesterday.
Yep. I mean, let's be perfectly honest and perfectly clear, Rob.
Budgie, hope you well.
I called a few names. I shouted a few expletives at that finishing. I mean, Jesus,
exactly what Larry says.
Jesus H wept. I mean, was it Vlasic? It was Vlasic, wasn't it, that tried to
the chip? No,
yeah.
it's Fornals.
Or was it Pablo?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I got that wrong then. What the...
I can't believe that either, Richard. I really can't. Under 25 what? Under 25 stone?
Watford goal. Watford have beaten Arsenal. No.
Oh, that's funny.
That's handy. Yeah, I've got to say, I was, just so frustrated that the finishing yesterday, Rob. I've seen some statements out there this morning, and well, when I was eating dinner at 1:30 this morning, and all the gear and no idea. No, all the gear and no idea.
You didn't even blink.
All the gear, no idea. Few other comments that are blaming Moyes for the setup and everything else, and there was a couple of.
When you say blaming Moyes for the setup, are you saying
that we were too negative? We were too
really?
Negative. Yeah, mate. I think
okay.
it's. I don't know where it comes
agree
from.
with that.
I don't know where it comes from. I'll be honest. I'll tell you what I am getting bored of. And quite quickly. And I know we've covered it, and I know your feelings on it. We know my feelings on it.
Yeah.
But we haven't beaten this dead donkey continuously with a stick. We've said our piece and we've moved on from it. And that's the January transfer window. Listen, we can't change that. But the fact that there are so many bloody comments about, it's coming home to roost. Here we go. But you've done it. We've beaten that horse to death now with the fact that we didn't recruit. We haven't got to keep banging the drum. We know the situation. The players know the situation. Moyes, the backroom team, the owners, whatever you want, they know the situation, right? And listen, that drum was beat very loudly yesterday once.
But they've got every right to make that point, Duke, in my opinion.
They've got every right, but
when they're right about it's a point that's valid.
When it's when it's the same comment over and over again, we all know that comment. We're all fully aware of that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to keep banging the Ben Rama drum.
Really?
No, not really. But I feel like there's a lot of blame being laid at Moyes' feet. We know that. Okay, we're fully aware of that, and it's annoying, it's frustrating. But to keep beating Moyes with that stick, when for me yesterday he set us up right. For me yesterday, the players finishing let us down. For me yesterday, yes, Jared Bowen's gone off injured, but what that does, you can't tell me we haven't got a replacement for Bowen when people are banging the Ben Rama drum. I would quite happily see Ben Rama come in and replace Jared Bowen. Vlasic move over, Ben Rama in where Vlasic is in this iconography here in this picture. Then let's do it. If that's the case, everyone, all these Ben Rama lovers that are out there, and I don't say that derogatory in any way, shape, or form.
Ben Rama,
but they're telling us, yeah, all right, that works.
We'll go with advocates.
If they're telling us how great he is, then we shouldn't have a problem with him stepping in for Bowen. Do you see what I mean? So we shouldn't have.
But he is a loss. I mean, his form this season
massive.
You can't.
Massive loss.
If he's going to be out, and this was my point in the pre-match about when I said that I wouldn't play Bowen, I wouldn't play Antonio, I wouldn't play Souček, and I wouldn't play Rice. Well, I obviously got one out of those four, but that was not by design. That was as a result of him having a virus, so I'm led to believe. It's not inconceivable to suggest that Rice would have played. Yes, he was. He came on and he did a magnificent job.
That ball for Antonio was possibly one of the best passes outside of the right boot, if I remember rightly, and just into the path of Antonio, who did what Antonio does best, I'd like to point out. So, yeah, I mean, Rob, I get where you're coming from. I don't think you could have replaced all three yesterday, in my opinion, and still got the performance that we got.
Oh, you wouldn't have got the performance, and it would have been a more wide scoreline. But I didn't expect the performance, if I'm being brutally honest, that we got yesterday, and I'll hold my hands up to that, even with our strongest 11. And that was, if you look at it, that was very close to being our strongest 11. I think it was arguably the strongest 11 we could reasonably put out. Once Rice dropped out, that's arguably the strongest 11 we could put out. Now, you could argue, and I know there are going to be some people that would advocate having Said Benrahma in at the expense of either Vlasic or Pablo Fornals, maybe even Antonio, who knows. But one of those three would probably, someone would say, why not Benrahma instead of him? But I would say that was the strongest, or as close to the strongest 11 that we could have put out there yesterday, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was happy when I saw the lineup. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a pain in the arse that Bowen's obviously gone off and he's injured, but I was pleased when I saw the lineup. I mean, I've seen Kent's just commented there, and it's
decision making. Yes, that is the key thing.
And I'll go back to I've just got to scroll up. Hang on. I'll go back to Ian's comment there. Time for Vlasic to step up, no doubt, but also time for Benrahma. If we're going to be missing, Bowen now for whatever length of time, be it a couple of games or whatever, and we're saying that Vlasic does, so does Benrahma. But they both do, and I'm not singling out Benrahma. I'm not. They both need to step up and start proving their worth. They both need to start showing that they're capable of stepping into that man's shoes, because at the moment they're not. They're not.
Would you say though, just before you sort of complete that point, but would you say that a guy that, and I looked at it yesterday, I think he's got 23 Premier League appearances, 5 goals, 4 assists this season. And I know he has been quite streaky. He had a little clutch of goals and assists at the beginning of the season. He had a little clutch of goals and assists before he went to the AFCON. But around outside of that, his contribution has been quite streaky, as I say. But like I say, 23 games, 5 goals, 4 assists in Premier League football this season. I mean, that's not bad. It has to be said.
It's bad for a team that won top 4 aspirations when no one else is joining the fray.
But is that because, I mean, were we a top 4 team when he walked into the club? I would argue not.
No, maybe not.
Because we just come up. I mean, when he walked into the club, we had a decent enough start to that season, but obviously we just escaped relegation the previous season. But it's interesting how people's perceptions on what the club are and what the club should be change. Because like I say, this time 2 years ago, we were staring relegation in the face. Now look at us. We're complaining that we've just gone to Anfield and lost, and we're 6th in the table at the minute. We're complaining? Wow.
Well, I'm not. I'll clear that up. But someone is in the chat, and I started it, so I'm glad you saw my little finger wag and left it. This comment here: all blame on Moyes. Audi, please tell me what you can put the blame on Moyes there for. Maybe just putting a stronger team out. So putting a stronger team out meant that we only lost 1-0. We put in a bloody good performance that we probably should have scored a couple of goals ourselves. I want to know what the blame is you're putting on Moyes. You're blaming Fabianski for the goal. I'm blaming Craig Dawson for the goal because I felt that he wasn't really aware of his surroundings. And I'm still trying to work out where the blame sits for Moyes. You're right, Bowen hasn't been great for the last few games, and injury was pending, not necessarily for Jared Bowen, but for
I think it was a risk, wasn't it?
someone.
Which is why I said about resting the 4 players ahead of the Seville game, and when it obviously he came off, I was sitting there going, "Oh, I knew it! I just knew it. It's our luck, innit? You know what I mean?"
Yeah. You sent me the message saying that this is exactly what you were talking about, and I played it to one of the West Ham guys that was sitting in a pub with me. We're doing it again, are we? Listen, at the end of the day, I believe Moyes did the right thing yesterday.
Now, again, I mean, sort of like, again, I look at this.
I take that all day long. How is that not a success?
Exactly. I mean, in the terms of our history, how many times have we had top 8 finishes in the top flight? It's only ever happened once in our 126-year history, and that was under Harry Redknapp. And we're complaining about it? Now, don't get me wrong. I know that when you sort of consider that at one point we were shooting for 4th, whether we realistically could have got it. I mean, listen, I mean, you said we're not going to bang the drum. Look, I'm going to say if we'd have strengthened in the January transfer window, as I believe we should have done, I think that we could have legitimately pushed for it. Now, we're faltering a little bit, it has to be said. But if you take a step back from that and just sort of go, well, like I say, 2 years ago, we were fighting relegation, and we've only ever had back-to-back top 8 finishes in top flight football once in 126 years. If we finish 7th this season, that's got to be progress, right?
I mean, listen, David Moyes, for me, I mean, Epic's there saying he's tired of hearing Moyes' excuses. So what are you advocating then, Epic, that we replace him? We get rid of him? Well, what are we doing? What are we asking for? Moyes has been, for me, and this is my opinion before I get absolutely slated across other video channels, that I think David Moyes is the best manager that we've had since John Lyall, in my opinion.
Not as good as or better than.
Not as good as or better than. I think he's the best manager we have had since.
Which is exactly what Gonzo on Hammers Chat thinks.
Right. I'd like to point out that he has taken a group of players, and we've all said this across near enough every single channel. I've seen it all. That he's taken a team of players that doesn't deserve to be where they are, and let's be honest, he's taken a team that shouldn't be where they are and put them where they are. Redknapp, for me, had a couple of better players, maybe, in his team that gave him the reason for the consecutive finishes. But we got a ragtag bunch, and he's done what he's done. He's got us into Europe. Not only has he got us into Europe, he's got us playing some fucking great football in Europe. Not only has he got us playing some great football in Europe, he's got us through to the knockout stages of the Europa League, right? If you'd said that to me when we survived 2 years ago, okay, then I would probably laugh at you that within 2 years of that relegation season, just avoiding relegation, that we'd be playing Seville in the knockout stages of the Europa League. I'm telling you now, people would have laughed at you. People would have laughed. If we'd sat here, Rob, that season after we just escaped relegation and we had this channel going and we said, I can see it in 2 years' time, that we will be playing in the knockout stages of the Europa League with Dortmund already being knocked out, Barcelona being there, and that we've got half a decent chance of progression. And we do. On our day, we can beat Seville. I don't care what anyone says. I people would have laughed at us. People would never have expected this. So, you know, all of these people that, I mean, success for the fans must be silverware. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And we still got a shot at silverware. So what we fucking moaning about? We're still in with a shot of the Europa League. Stop fucking moaning. Until we go out and moan. Knock yourselves out. I've got no problem with that. We're still in with a shot of winning a fucking cup. Stop moaning. How often do we get into March every year and not have anything to fucking play for apart from trying to stay up? Here we are. Here we are. We got the shot. We got the shot. We got a shot. I'm bored of negativity. I'm bored of negativity. We should have strengthened. We shouldn't be playing this player. We shouldn't be playing that player. Moyes had all the money to spend. Moyes shouldn't keep playing the strongest 11. This so far is a successful season. Last year was a successful season. This year is a successful season. Yes, I want a trophy. But why does success have to mean silverware? Why does it? If Moyes gets us to qualify for Europe again next season, I consider this season to be a success, regardless.
Yeah, I think success is a relative concept, isn't it? I mean, success for, you know, Manchester City, success for Liverpool would be...
Success for Norwich would mean maybe not conceding 128 goals in a season. Alias, I'm going on about where we are now. We're still in with a shot of success. We're still in with a shot of a trophy. We're still in with a shot of finishing in the top 6, top 7. That for me is outstanding. I've been a West Ham fan for God knows how long and seen us fucking yo-yo up and down, up and down, up and down. The only place that we were ever really successful was in the old Division 2 or what is now the fucking Championship because we get promoted out of it. We used to be Norwich. Let's not forget that. We used to be where Norwich are. Yeah? Grab where we are. I'm grabbing that moment. We're in the Europa League knockout stages. We've got a chance of winning the fucking thing. I'm excited for what we got.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, don't apologise. Don't apologise at all. That Liverpool team, when you saw it, I mean, it was pretty close to what I predicted on the pre-match. What were your thoughts? Did you sort of go, without Declan Rice?
Yeah. I won't lie. My little ringhole did a bit of a squeaky bum time.
Yeah.
I kind of looked at their wing backs and then Salah and Diaz on the other side. Yeah, agreed, Larry. And just went, fuck. I'm not going to lie. You know, when we talk about putting out strong sides and you kind of look at a strong side like that one in front of you, it should have been a whitewash, Rob. It should have been embarrassing. Successful clubs win silverware.
Successful clubs generally win silverware because they sling millions and millions at it, and we don't operate at that level.
I respect your opinion, Aldi. I do. I think you're wrong, but I respect it. Yeah, I thought, mate, we were going to get battered yesterday. I look at that side. I look at our side, and we shouldn't have been even in the game. I mean, we shouldn't have even been in the game after 60 seconds from from the free kick from the first offside. That my arsehole fell out and Fabianski went, let me just pull one out of the bag. You know, could have been 1-0 down by then, but we're going to blame him for the goal, but not for the several saves he made. You know, we had one cleared off the line, good save from him, clear it off the line, over a kick from Souček to get it out of the box. Yeah, we could have been 3 or 4-0 down at half time, but we could have also been 2 or 3-1. Could have been 2 or 3-1 up by half time. You know,
who was the player that stood out for you from Liverpool? I thought Trent myself.
See, listen, that those boys at the back for me, I don't suffer from jealousy, Rob. I'm certainly not jealous of. Well, I can see why Deck wants to leave. Listen, are you a troll? I'm going to ask now. Are you a troll? If you are, fine. Just let me know so then I don't have to take you seriously. Not that I am anyway, to be honest with you. Are you a Chelsea fan? Are you? What are you? What's going on? Why can't you just be happy and live in the moment? Fuck my life. Anyway, right. Where was I? Yes. Now, the two boys at the back, I don't get jealous a huge amount, Rob, but those two boys, I am jealous of their fullbacks. Like, oh
God,
my
yeah.
God, they are outstanding. If I had to pick any players out of that side, they're the first two that walk into an 11. If I could just handpick from any clubs they're the first two that I go for, hands down. Yeah. I love them two boys. They're two fullbacks. I think they're amazing, and they Ian, God, Jesus, you imagine him as a right winger.
No, hang on. If he played any further forward than he does, let's have it right. He'd be off the pitch and he'd be in the stand.
It'd be at the back of the cop. To be fair,
yeah, he's not really a sort of like an orthodox fullback.
But neither of them are they?
No,
neither of them are, and this is why I think I'm jealous.
Well,
of that.
I've got the positions later on. I'll tell you what, the average positions, and honestly, it's frightening, absolutely frightening.
I'm going to agree with Peach actually for his comment. Diaz, the new guy.
Yeah, he did look decent.
We were after him at one point, so I'm again a little bit jealous that we didn't have. Well, before people start, we might have had the cash to throw at it, but that's not the point. It's whether or not he wanted to come to us. Hammerhead.
What?
Oh, he's just come out with a comment, Rob, that I just...
this one? Oh, hang on.
Yeah, I feel sick in my throat.
Overrated. Oh, well, I respectfully disagree, Hammerhead. Yeah. You're entitled to your opinion. I think he's a cracking player. I think he had a dip in form last season, I think it was. But honestly, no, I don't agree with the statement that he's overrated. He is a cracking fullback.
I mean, Kent's just said here about Diaz. He runs quick with the ball.
Yep.
As without, I have a feeling he is going to be the Egyptian king's replacement going forward.
Wouldn't be surprised if that's why he's been brought in, because he's negotiating his contract, isn't he?
Well, listen, I know the owners of, not personally, but I know the owners of Liverpool, and I know their market plan. I know I know how they run the clubs and stuff. I'm sat here in a Boston Red Sox jersey, which is owned by the Fenway Sports Group, which is the same group that own Liverpool. Mm-hmm. And I think I said it before, Rob, when we were talking about Liverpool and we were talking about Salah. Salah is currently the face of Liverpool, is he not? He's like, that's...
Yeah, I'd say so.
He's their branding, yeah. Boston Red Sox, a couple of years ago, had exactly the same situation with a guy who was coming to the end of his contract.
Hang on a minute, hang on. So your Hammer controversial head?
That's an interesting name. They had a guy called Mookie Betts coming to the end of his contract. Mm-hmm. He was the best player at the Boston Red Sox, hands down. Fantastic in the outfield, a very, very quick bat, brilliant. Earned every penny for, if you could say that, £15 million a year contract is earning every penny. But he wanted a 3-year deal at 15 million quid a year. They offered him, I think it was something like 12 million over 2 years. He was sticking to his guns that he wanted 15 over 3. And don't get me wrong, the boy was worth 15 over 3. To prove the point, they let him go to the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers won their first World Series in his first season.
Chris,
and they weren't being held to ransom. So if any Liverpool fan out there is thinking that they will bite the bullet and give Salah what he wants, got another thing coming. They will quite happily let him go to say no. But just to prove a point. And they will do. Trust me, they will let Salah go. Regardless, if they're not on the same page, he will walk out the door and they won't renew that contract. They will either sell him or, in the January transfer window, whatever, they will let him go. Because they have their business model and they stick to it. So it wouldn't surprise me if Diaz has come in to replace, as Salah's long-term replacement. And I won't lie to you, he looks good. He looks good.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite sensible business, I thought. He's come in, and if Salah goes in the summer, he's going to have a couple of months working alongside the master, if you will, and a soft transition of a passing of the torch sort of thing. Does that kind of makes sense?
Yeah, on the money.
So yeah, no, I think it's smart business by Liverpool Football Club, smart business by Jurgen Klopp and FSG. Chris is just asking, has he missed the Crocs chat? Well, I don't want to sort of start him off because he goes off on one.
Thanks for bringing it up. No one else had today, so that's absolutely outstanding on your part, Prick.
Oh dear. West Ham Random says he's impressed with your baseball knowledge.
Hey, listen, I could probably do my own baseball show. To be honest with you,
maybe we should do that.
I could probably teach people.
Yeah. Kent's just saying that Liverpool always sell at the right time, have a plan to replace. Look at they've sold over the years, seamless transition. Yeah, a smartly run football club. And I would argue that's what we need to aspire to be. It might take a while and it might be a lofty ambition, but I just think, shoot for the stars and you might get your head above the clouds, that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, they've obviously got an awful lot more money than us. They've got an awful lot more pull than us. If we go in for a player, if Liverpool and us went in for the same player, that player 99 times out of 100 is going to Anfield for two reasons. One, they can offer him more money. Well, three reasons. One, they can offer him more money. Two, they can offer the selling club, the club that they're buying the player from, more money, and that they're going to be playing in superior competitions and gunning for higher prizes than we are. So, it is what it is.
Look what he's done. He's not coming back on that. Both of them. That's Chris's fault. He ain't coming back on our channel again. I hope they get relegated.
No, that's not very friendly. No, you're all right, Chris. Don't you listen to him. He's just cranky. He hasn't had enough sleep. He's grumpy and he's
I hope they get relegated.
Oh, you can't say that to Chris.
I can. I just did.
Oh, you're horrible. Do you know what? I'll tell you what. He's gonna come and he's gonna find you.
I'm gonna drop the ban hammer.
He's gonna find you, and I reckon he's gonna go into your pub, and I reckon he's gonna do a massive poo in your urinal.
Well, it fit in then, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, there is that. I've seen worse, to be fair.
Anyway, can we not talk about pooing in with urinals? Let's get back to the game.
Listen, he started it when he started sort of.
Oh, I know he did.
And then you've started sort of saying that you think his team should get relegated, and I'm just sort of
stand by that.
Do you really?
Yes, I mean it.
He doesn't, Chris. I'll have a word with him later. Don't worry.
Solid.
I'll talk him out of it.
But
yeah, listen, the performance yesterday. I mean, you said it earlier. I think David Moyes. Kent, you are a troublemaker. I don't think David Moyes can be blamed for the performance yesterday. I don't think he can be blamed for the fact that that we lost the game 1-0. I think that the players have to take their share of the blame on that one. The free sweeps.
Oh, you laugh, but I heard a story years ago that.
Go on.
That they did pick one up and lick it.
Who did?
This was years ago when I was about 18, 19 in the pub. They would dare to pick it up and lick it.
Cheers,
and
Chris.
You're a bastard. Get out. Don't like him anymore.
Ah, that's that romance over.
Yep. Hey ho, it is what it is, isn't it? We all have some
hope
fun.
you well, mate.
Seriously, Happy, stop it! Fuck's sake.
Simon, he's got the ump because he's had Chris come in from Leicester Till I Die, and he's poked him about his love of Crocs.
Can we just leave me alone?
Not alligators.
She can shut up and all. Fucking
She
Spud
can't.
fan. She can.
She can't. I've had it for 20 odd years, mate.
It's
She
a
definitely
Spud
don't
fan.
shut up.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
Spud
know.
fan. It
Yeah,
can,
but just
it can,
ignore
it can
them.
do one.
Just
It
ignore
can
them.
do one.
That's not very friendly.
I couldn't
But no,
care
I
less.
mean, is there any? I mean, do you think that Declan Rice would have made a fundamental difference yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, listen. All right.
I think
Arsenal might have scored.
my Tottenham supporting wife that just let out that expletive might have let out the expletive because Arsenal have just scored. I might be wrong. 2-1. Yes. I reckon he has got pink fluffy Crocs. In fact, I've got a very sneaking suspicion I've seen them.
One's claret, one's blue.
What was that laugh? Listen,
I don't know because I've just turned around and said pink fluffy Crocs, and she's just turned around and gone one claret, one blue. It's like, how can they be one claret, one blue when I've just said they're pink?
yeah, but
That is the intelligence of your average Tottenham fan, ladies and gentlemen.
You married her.
I know I did. She
All
can
I got
cook.
for you.
I can't.
That's fair enough. It's fair
Yeah.
enough.
That's all I got for you.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, so Declan Rice. I mean, I personally don't think he would have made a fundamental difference if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah. I think there would have been a bit more control.
Would we have still conceded that goal? I think in all likelihood we would have done it.
Yeah, more than likely. More than likely. Let's not mess around. I just think there would have been a bit more. The defensive frailties wouldn't have shown up as much in that, like Hammerhead says. Oh, for God's sake!
Ken's at it now. You know your luck's out when Ken starts poking you with sticks.
I just don't want to play this game anymore. No, I'd like to think that he would have come in and he would have brought in something slightly different. So yes, I think we could have at least not lost the game.
Maybe I don't think Declan Rice is great a player as I think Declan Rice is, as much as Declan Rice has done for us this season and past. Do I think he would have made a difference yesterday? I don't think he would have done. I really don't, because I don't see that his presence would have stopped the goal being conceded, and I'm not entirely convinced that he would have.
When I'm done,
scored
genius.
A goal. What?
Cyber, go back up one.
Hang on. What? This one?
Yeah, he's at the pub.
Is he downstairs?
He's downstairs.
Well, yeah. He obviously he's going to come down after he's finished this.
I might just stay up here.
Oh, that's not nice. He's come all this way to see ya.
I've already seen him. Hey, I thought he disappeared and went shopping before I came upstairs. Was it? That's on him. Right. Love you, Sibes.
Are we on the big screen downstairs or
no?
I
don't think I could do that. I don't think I could put people through that. They're watching the Arsenal game, aren't they? So.
Yeah. Oh no, that's fair. That's fair.
Hey, Alias or Aldi. What? Oh, bloody hell! Yeah, you. I agree.
Hang on. Where is he?
I agree.
Hang on.
I do.
Listen,
agree
I'm not saying that we're not a better team with him than we are without him. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I don't think in a 1-0 away defeat at Anfield that I just don't think that he would have made a difference to the outcome. That's just my opinion on it. And obviously it's one of them things we'll never know because we can't go back in time, plonk a fit Declan Rice into the midfield at the expense of someone else and play the game again.
Yeah.
So it's all hypotheticals. It's just my opinion. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Who cares?
No, I mean I'd like to think that he would have made a big difference yesterday.
Okay.
As I've said many times, and as Audi says there at the bottom, he says
So I'm just catching up.
no, it's fine. I think that he would have made a difference. I think we would have created more. As I've said previously, I think he's the best player at his age and his position in the world. I think he walks into any team in the world and makes them either better or complements what they've got. Do I think him and let's say Joshua Kimmich at Barcelona? Do I think they make a formidable partnership and make that side significantly better than they already are? Yeah, I do. Do I think that Declan Rice going and playing alongside Joshua Kimmich would give Bayern Munich the opportunity of winning the Champions League? Yeah, I do, because I just think those two together would be an absolutely phenomenal partnership in the middle of the pitch. So I listen. We can't, if we want to progress. And as Audi was saying earlier, progression, etc., etc. And as we've said, do I think that success is anything that we better than last year? So if we beat this year, next year, be it with a trophy or higher up in the league, then I feel that's a success. But any success that we're going to create needs to come through Declan Rice still being at the club.
What's this one? You're contradicting yourself. Most post shows are hypothetical. Right. Okay.
Where am I contradicting myself?
I think you might be. I don't know. I think you might be talking about me saying about Declan Rice doesn't make a fundamental difference as yesterday's result. Listen, it's an opinion.
Okay, I thought it was
it's an opinion. if that's what it's about, it's an opinion. I don't think that Rice would. And even Happy said the same thing. And in fairness to Happy, she was there yesterday.
Yep. And listen, that's right. And as Hammerhead says underneath, with Rice, we would have been able to make the transfer from defence to attack a bit faster, more efficiently. Noble showed a bit of it when he came on. Beautiful outside pass. Rice has all of that too. Completely agree. Budgie, I do get my Crocs from Amazon. Yes.
Yes, Deck suggestion. Whatever. I say it's an opinion.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it would possibly...
You're entitled to yours, I'm entitled to mine. Done.
I tell you what, Kent's nailed it. Best young player in his position. Box-to-box midfielder and then transition to a centre-back. You know what, Kent? I didn't even think about him transitioning back to a centre-back. But my God, that'd be absolutely outstanding.
Once the legs start to...
Once, yeah. And I'll tell you what, his positioning and his positioning and his reading of the game is absolutely outstanding. And I've watched so many games this season where that guy, his reading of the game, was a former West Ham player that used to read the game really, really well. Wasn't blessed with any kind of pace or anything else, but he didn't need it because he read the game so well and was in positions before the game even developed that he could make the interception. And he's claimed as being one of the best English players to grace the game. Definitely one of the best English defenders to grace the game. The only ever England captain to win the World Cup. So, Declan Rice is in good company with Bobby Moore with regards to how he reads the game, his anticipation, everything else. I can imagine.
Question. The two subs that came off, obviously one of them was due to injury, so not really too much to say about that. What were your thoughts on Nikola Vlasic's performance? And what were your thoughts on the performances of the two guys that came on inside Mark Noble?
I think they contributed admirably to the situation. I'm certainly not going to sit here and slag off any of the players. I personally, other than their finishing, I thought they played really bloody well, to be perfectly honest with you. Vlasic, I still think he needs to do more, but I still think there's that bedding in time. And he still needs that, I know people are going to mow that adjustment period. Banhammer! I'm on it. Woo! That one, and it's off. Yeah, I still think he needs that adjustment period. I know people probably say, no, probably not. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, probably not. But Ben Rama again, he came on. There were flashes of there were some flashes of what we can see, and as someone alluded to earlier, now it's time for him to start showing that on a more regular basis and significantly consistently. Significantly more consistently. He's a good player. They both, and as Aldi says there, and I'm going to say the same. I was about to say exactly the same thing as what. About Vlasic as I was Ben Rama. They both have something to offer. They both have something significant to offer. I think they're both incredibly talented players. I think Ben Rama is a naturally gifted talent. Unfortunately, he's not putting that talent to good use consistently enough for me. Now's the time to step up and show that. Now is the time to come in, and do the job. Because you know what? This is where we're going to need it now. If we've lost Bowen for whatever length of time it might be that whether it's going to be, the Seville game and then the game on Sunday. Who we got Sunday? I've forgotten already.
Villa, isn't it?
Villa, thank you. Even if we miss him for those two, if we miss Bowen for those two games, then it's time for Ben Rama. What is it with people not being able to spell his name right? I love it. He was in great positions yesterday, and he let himself down with a couple of
decision making wasn't great.
Either delaying on the right pass and being caught up, or just not making the right choice. Full stop. But listen, this is where these two boys now have the opportunity to prove a point. These two boys now, if we're missing Bowen for 2 games or if we're missing him for the rest of the season, this is where these boys can prove a point. This is where Ben Rama can come in and lead us to Europa League glory. This is where he can become our,
he can become our Carlos Tevez, couldn't he?
In
that last little spell of the season, he could go on a run where he's getting goals, assists, changing games for the better, and he could this season become the equivalent of what Carlos Tevez came in there in those last 9 games of the season. He'd done bugger all up to that point, and then boom, changed the season.
I mean, Aldi's just come in here and said that Ben Rama's game isn't working consistently because Moyes wants to chain him into a runner and chase like Bowen and Fornells. If that's what it takes, Aldi, then that's what he's got to do. Like, if he wants to be a part of this and what we're doing and what we're developing, then that's what he has to do. Not being funny, Fornells wasn't a runner and a chaser. We know this because we saw him in the under-21 championships for Spain. He was a creator. He was a magician. That's the only thing I got for you, because he looked outstanding. And we all went, wow, look at this guy. But it's taken him 2 years to become that integral part of the team, because he's had to change the way that he plays. Listen, I'm willing to give Ben Rama the chance to do that as well. If after another season he can't do that, then maybe it's time to let him go. But Fornells didn't completely change, and he completely adapted his game. He's still capable of the creative magician type stuff that we saw in the under-21 championships. We've seen the passes from him, we've seen the movement from him, but he's also added that chaser. Cheers,
Aldi.
Cheers, Aldi. Take care, buddy. He's added that chaser and that grafting to his game. So I'm hoping, and I am hoping, that Ben Rama can do the same.
Yeah, I hope so. If I'm being honest, I think that I have had a little bit of a lack of faith in him of late, because I do look at some of his decision making, exactly what Kent alluded to earlier, and he's not the only one that said it, is that he does make the wrong decision a little bit too regularly for my liking.
Yeah.
And like I say, and I've said it to you, I've said it a few times, that what separates a Premier League player for me from championship players and the like, is that they will apply their skill set over a more consistent basis. I would take someone like, and I think I said it on a message. It might have been to Hammerhead, to Happy Hammerette actually. James Milner. Now, skill wise, and I know they're positionally different. I know stylistically they're different. I'm just picking a name out of thin air. James Milner on a skill level against Saeed Benrahma. Which one of them is the more skillful, do you think?
Oh, it's quite clear, isn't it?
Okay, but James Milner, if you turned around to fans of other clubs outside of Liverpool and said, do you think he's a Premier League player? They generally turn around and say yes. Now, that's the thing with Saeed Benrahma for me, is if you got fans of other clubs outside of West Ham and said, do you think that Saeed Benrahma is a Premier League player? I think it's a mixed response, and that's quite telling.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, listen, at the end of the day,
and the thing about just to go back on the point that Audi made earlier about being he's trying to change him into a runner. I think that's a fair point, but I'd probably turn around and ask the question: would that not have been something that David Moyes would have explained to Saeed Benrahma before he signed on the dotted line? I would have thought so. And if Saeed Benrahma knew that and still signed on the dotted line, then that you knew the score when you walked in.
I have a couple of questions. Firstly, what does she mean by this, Robert? What were you doing that was multitasking while texting an attractive young lady?
I was leaving a voice note whilst driving.
Okay. Just checking. And secondly, it's a question for Hapam Iran. Are you cheating on me by texting Robert? What is this? I thought we were exclusive.
I'm not allowed to send her messages now, am I?
I thought me and Happy were exclusive texting buddies. What's this shit?
Okay.
Is she texting other people behind my back? What is this shit about? She never made that. She didn't say that we weren't exclusive. What's this? What's going on?
Listen, she has enough of talking to you about sort of like different styles of Crocs.
You're a bastard. You're a bastard, Robert.
I have no interest in Crocs, and she just wants a Croc-free chat.
You're a bastard.
She told me. She said every time that you're messaging her, you're sending her pictures of Crocs that you've seen in Asda's, and you're asking her opinion on them, and she's just getting bored of it.
You know what? I'm done. Yeah, there's a reason I'm not on Discord.
Do you want to do player ratings, my friend?
Yeah, go on then. I'm happy.
Okay, let's start with the goalkeeper, Lucas Fabianski. What would you give him out of 10?
I'm going to give him a 7, Rob.
Okay, explain.
I'm not gonna put him. Oh my god.
Can you imagine wearing them with a pair of socks? That's ultimate.
That's where this whole thing started.
That's the ultimate.
Fuck mine. This is where the whole thing started.
You know who used to wear that? My late father-in-law. He'd wear the old Jesus creepers with a pair of socks, and I'd just be like, oh god.
Yeah, I agree with Ken.
Don't get me wrong, I'm Benny Fair. When I wanted him and Watkins at West Ham, he's got all the tools he needs to harness his game and make him a more rounded player, and Moyes can do that. Yeah,
completely agree.
Fair. Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Listen. I wouldn't call it jumping into. I really wouldn't. Just sort of nudging my way gently. Just sort of creeping along.
What's this? I'll give up. I can't even.
Yeah. Listen. I'm cool with that.
7.
Have you got a problem with that, Duke?
7.
So you've got a 7. What did he do well?
I listen. There were times he kept us in the game a little bit more. He made a good save at the near post when we had that bit of a dick around on inside the 6-yard box where we didn't know what colour we were playing in. He made the good save in the first 86 seconds from the breakaway from their our first offside
Salah.
to there.
Yeah.
And the fact that man went off shows you just how good a job we did at the back with that man. The fact that they substituted him said to me just how good a job he did. And everyone's agreeing with me. That is
Yeah.
a 7.
Fair enough. Okay.
And
Let's
Ken, no, I don't. Don't even start that shit. I prefer a pair of clogs.
I heard hush puppies.
Oh, fuck off.
I heard hush puppies. That's what I heard on the grapevine.
Loafers.
Loafers. Very nice. Very nice. Let's go with the captain for the evening, who returned to his native Merseyside, Mr. Aaron Cresswell.
6. Average. Just in
Okay.
fuck's sake, happen. Yeah, no, I
What could he have done better to get the 7? Where was he deficient?
There was a lot of long balls, Rob, as well. I
Okay.
felt out the back. I thought he was partly responsible for that, alongside Glenn Ben on the other side. I just think we, again, there you go, But I think that's a bit. Listen, that was only in yesterday's game. His delivery from corners and free kicks is normally very good.
Yeah.
It's a 6.
Fair enough. Let's go over the other flank and go with Mr. Johnson.
6.
Okay.
Again, very
Same.
average. Didn't stand. Well, yeah. Again, there was. I don't know whether it was a Moyes thing. There was a lot of pinged balls forward, wasn't there? That were just falling at the feet of the opposition, or being quite easily dealt with by the opposition. And I felt that a lot of those come from our back four. They were kind of trying to bypass the middle with the midfield for whatever reason, or hoping that we were going to win the headers in the first balls, and then we were going to latch on to the second ball if we didn't. There was too much of it.
Okay. Big Craig Dawson, the guy
6.
that I believe that Virgil van Dijk models his game on.
6. I blame him for the goal personally.
Okay.
I do blame him for the goal. I think he switched off. He wasn't aware of his surroundings, and he let Mane come in from behind him and beat him to the ball, quite simply put. So I just I 6. It could have been a 7. I think he defended. Other than that, he defended quite well, but it's going to have to be a 6 for me.
Well, Kent's gone 7.
Fair play for Glenn Ben.
Yeah. Gets an assist for Pablo's chance. Well, it's not really an assist because he didn't score it. So, but I know what you mean. It was a fair comment. But okay, yeah. So who we got? Zuma. How can I forget Big Kurt?
7.
Big
Again,
Kurt.
I do think he. There was a lot of long balls, but I also think he defended quite well. And the fact that we only conceded 1 tells you that a lot of their shots actually came from some distance on some of them as well. So yeah.
Okay, let's go to Thomas Souček.
6. Bypassed a bit in midfield. Whether or not that's because of a lot of long balls, the fact that we were having to sit a lot deeper because of Dawson's lack of pace against players like Diaz, Mane, Salah, we had to sit a lot deeper, which meant that I just don't think that Souček and is it Lanzini in there with him? I just don't think they were as influential in the game as they could have been.
You didn't think Lanzini was okay? Let's move to Lanzini then.
Again, a 6.
Okay, interesting.
I
thought he was solid. I thought he played really well.
Hey, listen, 6 is the 6s and 7s are the average marks I'm giving here. I just think that it would have been a 7 if he could have converted.
Happy's not going to be happy with you for giving her man.
I don't give 2 shits what Kerry says right now. After I found out she's been cheating on me, and the fact that she's now
cheating.
She's cheating on me with you, and the fact that she she's told everyone about my croc obsession. So no, I'm
But
done
it
with
is an
Kerry.
obsession. Stop
I'm done.
complaining.
I'm done with Kerry.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm saying nothing.
I'm deleting her number from my phone. I don't want to talk
No,
to her
you're
anymore.
not.
Don't
No,
wanna talk
you're
to her
not.
anymore.
You're going to be sending her messages after this is finished, crawling,
Nope.
crawling and begging her for forgiveness, aren't you? I know how you work.
I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, yeah.
Kerry. I'm done with Kerryette.
Oh, you're just so mean. So mean. Okay, so we've done Souček, we've done Lanzini. Let's move to Nikola Vlasic.
Six and a half.
You're not allowed to give half marks.
6.
Oh, he went low. Go on, explain.
Listen, there was nothing really that stood out and grabbed me that warranted it going higher. I don't think he was poor, like some of the others here are saying 5s and whatnot. But a 6. As I say, 6s and 7s are the averages that I'm giving out.
Okay, here's an interesting one, and I'm not sort of saying which one's right or even if I agree with either of them. Sharky's given Vlasic a 5. Interestingly, though, Peach has gone 8.
Yeah, but it's
Now,
Peach.
yeah, because normally sort of like people will, it'll be sort of like this person will say 6, this person will say 7. That's quite a disparity. I'd have said somewhere around a 6. I'd have gone, yeah, fine, but 8. Listen, Peach.
Yeah, but again, it's Peach, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. This is the guy that says we're going to win every game 4-1.
Yeah.
I love you, Peach. You know I do. Okay. Jared Bowen.
It's unfortunate that the injury came along when it did. I'm going to give the boy a 7. A lot of the good stuff was going through him. I know some people have kind of battered him a little bit because of his lofty, expectations of what he's done over the last season. And he's not quite there. But I give him a 7. I think he was. Yeah, but it's true. I think he was. He looked sharp yesterday for me. I think there was a lot of endeavour from him. And as Hammerhead says there, I hope he's not as hurt as first thought. I thought it might be a fracture or quite a bad sprain when I saw him hobbling off like he was. Yeah. So I'm hoping it's not that bad.
Can I just point out, Peach, I hope he has a footballer's brain, because I tell you what, if he has a dustman's brain, it's not really much good, is it? Just saying. Right, who else have we got? We got we haven't done Pablo Fornals yet, have we?
I want to give him a 1.
You want to give him 1?
I want to give him a 1. Stop it. Just because of the absolute wank bag chip that he couldn't have got.
Hang on, Banhammer. Boom! Get lost.
I missed that one. It's 1-1, by the way.
Quite satisfying to get that out from time to time.
I mean, he couldn't have got less on that chip if he'd tried. I've watched it back, and I get so angry at just watching it. Kind of, it's more of a floaty chip rather than
it didn't have the pace on it, did it?
I mean, I just put your fucking foot through it and try and go under the keeper. Stop dicking around with that shit. Just try and hammer it through him. We proved that.
Do you think that's why there was the poor execution, because he was thinking, do I go chip?
Yeah,
do I go shot?
Yeah, I do. Listen, when Pablo scored, I think it was Pablo that scored against Liverpool at the London Stadium
from the corner.
He hammered. No. When he ran through, and he got hand to it, and it just still went in. You've proved that you can do that, so do it, please. Do you know what I mean? Just.
Are you going to get the banhammer out on her? Don't do it. Oh no, he's given himself a red card. I can see him in the green room happy. I'm telling you, he ain't happy. Oh my God, that's a face like a slapped ass. Jesus Christ. Come on, Duke. Come on, smile. It's called banter. Remember that? We used to have banter before we
The
became
gays banter.
No, not that.
Oh,
Not that.
sorry.
I'm saying banter as in sort of like nice little bit of teasing and all the rest of it before we became a nation of pussies and we can't joke about each other. You know it's true. And it does my nutting.
He could have done many more things, Hammerhead. He could have got a bit more pace on the chip. He could have put it through the keeper's legs. He could have gone round the keeper. He could have done many different things. Peach is going to get a punch in the throat. I tell you. Look, have you seen this? No, look. Have you seen this? Look. He's obviously. What's he drinking?
He does like a cider, doesn't he? He loves.
I'm actually gonna give Pablo a 7. If he'd got that, it would have been a 15.
You said you were going to give him 1.
Oh, I said I was going to give him a 1, but I'm willing to acquiesce and actually give him a 7. If he'd scored, it certainly would have been an 8.
Fair. Hammerhead makes a point. 2 goals in the last 3 for Pablo against the Scousers.
Yeah. Take nothing away from that.
Fair enough. Right. Leaves us one of the starters left, which is Michail Antonio. What were your thoughts on him?
I'm going to go 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He irritated the fuck out of me yesterday, Rob.
Because?
Irritated the shit out of me. He's a good player, Rob.
We will, Happy. We will.
He's
just don't tell him he gets the ump.
All right. Where was I? Yeah, he irritates the fuck out of me. He's a really good player. He's a really good player. And I don't. And listen, I will argue this with people that slate him and slander him. On his day, he's fantastic. I love him. And I'd rather have Antonio in my team than against my team on some days. You know what I mean? He's a beast. Yesterday, he irritated the fuck out of me. You know, I'm at a point. If we're gonna allow him to keep pulling wide, then we might as well just let him play right wing back or right wing or left wing, because he continuously pulls wide, leaving us with no one in the middle. And it's and it's a perfect analogy. Yeah.
Decent analogy. Yeah. I like that. I thought he worked bloody hard. I thought there were signs. I think there's been signs in the last 3 games or thereabouts that Michail Antonio is starting to get back to the player that he was, the player that we want him to be. Need him
in the box, though, Robin. And I think this is the problem, especially now. If Bowen is going to be out for any kind of time, be it 1 or 2 games, be it the rest of the season, we need Antonio in that box. We can't have him pulling out, because Jared Bowen's normally the one that will follow up on, be the one that replaces him in the box when he pulls out wide. No disrespect to Vlasic or Ben Rama, you see them doing that. So we're going to need him in the box. He's going to need to be there. But I'll give him a 6. He frustrated me significantly yesterday with the pulling out wide and everything else, especially after Bowen had gone off. It just annoyed me a little bit.
Oh, hang on. I've got to ask this question. I'm guessing you're talking about Lanzini. I'm guessing. If that's the case, did you attack the child and take the shirt off of the child? No, just asking.
Sahil's back with his capital letters.
Oh no!
Hello, Sahil.
Turn the caps off, for goodness' sake! Stop shouting.
Hello. I think she might be talking about Antonio actually being an absolute monster. I tell you what, she don't like me, Rob, does she? She don't like me.
Oh no, she
Kerry.
She tolerates you.
Tolerates me at best, yeah.
She tolerates you.
I used to like her.
Yeah. Okay. So who has a fever? Oh dear. Steady, Peach. Steady. Keep it nice. Keep it friendly. Antonio, got it. No, I could imagine she'd have absolutely fainted if Manuel Lanzini had been stood in front of her, taking his shirt off and giving it to the kid that sat in front. I'd imagine she'd have fainted.
Thank you, Peach.
I think she'd have come over quite unnecessary as well. So, I'll tell you what, let's mark the substitutes as well. Let's go Mark Noble. What were your thoughts on him?
Oh, 12.
Rolled back the years, didn't he?
Oh, didn't he just? He did look out of place, Rob. I was concerned when he came on. I was concerned, but I don't think he looked out of place. I think he more than held his own in there. I'm actually going to give him a 7 just for his brief cameo kind of appearance then. But I really do think he kind of looked like the old Nobes, and it was good.
Well,
I enjoyed his performance.
I mean, he came on, what was it, the time that he came on? That 20, 30 minutes to go?
Yeah.
Well, if you saw the stats that I put up earlier, the past stats, 92% is the best in the team.
Yeah.
You know,
rolled it back, looked really good. And like I say, that ball with the outside of the that ball with the outside of the boot was something else.
I think there's more chance you'd have jumped Lanzini, wouldn't you? But yeah, Noble I thought looked excellent yesterday. I mean, yes, it was a cameo. I'm not sort of, those stats of 92%. If he'd have played the whole 90, would they have been 92%? Possibly not. But
no,
he can only do what he's got. You know what I mean?
I've been full of compliment for Mr. Benrahma. I've not slated him, and I've said now's his time to shine with Bowen being
yes,
out.
He did. Yes,
I believe that he has all the talents in his box to be able to do what he needs to do. It's now over to him to prove that he's got that to show that he can produce that from his locker on a regular basis. I have that problem every day that I put on a football shirt. Hence the reason I wear baseball jerseys all the time, because they button up. and they're a lot baggier.
Following on from Sahil's comment there, but that actually brings us on to the man himself, Saeed Benrahma.
Again, as I said, I've given out 6s and 7s. I'm going to give him a 6, and the reason I'm going to give him a 6 is it would have been a 7 if his if just a couple of his decisions would have either come quicker, or he just made the right decision. There was too many times. There was too many times that he was too slow to make the right decision. He did make the right decision, but he was too slow. And then there were other times when he just didn't make the right decision. If a couple of those occasions, yes.
Oh, wow! You've gone from one end to the other there, Peach. I mean, Vlasic got an 8 and Benrahma's got a 2.
I just think that a couple of decisions,
that bad.
Couple of decisions quicker, he would have. Exactly. A couple of decisions quicker, and he would have had a 7. A couple of right decisions, and he would have had a 7. So he's got a 6 for me. He just needs to figure out when the correct decision needs to be made.
Well, Sharky disagrees with everyone. He says that
love it, Sharks. Love it.
I think he's probably being a little bit facetious. I hope so.
I think he's fishing.
Do you think?
Do
you think what they call in poker terms an angle shoot?
Yes.
There you go. Which leaves us one person to mark, Mr. David Moyes.
9.
Hang on. 9.
9 for. I'm guessing. I know who that's for. That's fine.
I'm guessing that's for Benny. I'm just a guess. Just a guess.
Sahil.
You sneaky bugger.
Sahil, we're not actually sure. There's been no. Just going back to his comment about Benrahma. I just want to see if he's still in the chat. We're waiting on the news of the scan. So Sahil, I don't actually know. If you can log out and log back in again under Sahil, that'd be great. Let us know.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm expecting the worst as far as Bowen's concerned.
And as I said earlier, this is where Benrahma and Vlasic have their time now in the sunshine. If he is injured, this is where these boys can show exactly what they've got in their locker. It would have been a 10 for me, Peach, if we'd won. I'd give him a 9. I think he set us all up with the right way. the right layout, the right setup, the right tactics. I just think that.
But he can't help it if we've got players that are wasting chances like that, can he?
Can't finish their dinner. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think I'd give him a 10. I think I'd probably give him a 7 or an 8, something like that. I just wonder whether, but again, substitutions. Could he have made maybe a sort of like a substitution extra because he made 2 subs?
I don't think he needed to, Rob. I really don't think he needed to. I think the substitutions he made, the one that was kind of forced upon him. Maybe if he'd bought on, maybe Oko Flex for Antonio at the end of the game.
Well, no, he did. He did make 3. Sorry, apologies. But one of them was in the 93rd minute.
Yeah.
So I mean, Daniel Chester's, with all due respect, you can't really sort of count that in a way.
On 90, was that the 89th minute or something stupid, wasn't it? Or 86th, 87th minute, it weren't going to make a difference.
It was 93rd.
Oh, was it the 93rd? I thought it was
minute. He was on the pitch 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, he was warming up earlier, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I saw him on 87. Yeah, I mean, listen, for me, he gets the 9. We were all set up right. He got the tactics right. The players couldn't finish. Oh, E20's logged out. 9, he couldn't mark in their play. Yeah. I just listen. Time for Benny and Vlasic now to show up, what they're capable of. If Bowen's out for 2 games, if he's out for 8 games, if he's out for the rest of the season, let's have a look. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably give Moyes a 7. I just think that, like I say, I'm not blaming him for the result. I think he's picked the strongest team that he reasonably could, and we've made a very, very good team, conceivably a team that could win the Premier League this season and or the Champions League. We've worked
and the FA Cup
in their own backyard.
The FA Cup, and they've already won the other one.
But like I say, it's just the substitutions. Like I say, Daniel Chester's coming on in the 93rd minute. What's the point? I think if you're going to bring a player on, I've got no problem in bringing Chester's on.
No difference.
It's either him or Rocco Flex, but bring him on earlier. At least give him a chance to influence the game.
No different to Klopp bringing on Jones, mate. He brought him on in the 91st minute, knowing exactly what he was doing. I know that we don't really want to be wasting time, but it's a pointless substitution. Do you know what I mean? There's no point in bringing those players on at all. Sahil, I gave him a 6. It's nice to see that you still can't find your caps lock button unless your computer's broken.
Could be.
And
Could be.
You can't turn it off.
Yeah. The other thing also I found a bit weird, and I'd like your opinion on this. We had a free kick right at the last knockings.
Yep.
Why at 1-0 down in the 93rd, 94th minute, whatever it was at that point, was either Lucas Fabianski not taking that free kick and all other 10 outfielders were pushed up high as they could go, or if it was going to be Cresswell doing delivery, why didn't Fabianski get up there and cause some confusion?
Yeah,
I didn't get that, because it's like, listen, if the ball breaks and we lose the game 2-0 as a result because we was trying to get the equaliser,
that was going to be my
really,
comment.
does it make any fundamental difference? If I was the manager on the touchline, I'd be going,
get your ass in there. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Get your ass in there. Let's go. No, I don't. And you say that when I was eating my dinner last night. This morning, I was scrolling through Facebook, and one of the videos came up of goalkeepers that have scored goals, and you see the likes of Peter Schmeichel scoring one of them, and etc. And they're from corners and free kicks in the last minute that salvage a draw for these teams. So there's no reason why we shouldn't think that we wouldn't get lucky. But hey, it's hindsight, Robert. We can all talk about hindsight, and as frustrating as and annoying as it is, you know what? I still think we put in a good performance. I still think we were. I still think we were quite good. I still think we were a solid team. I still think we were.
Fair point, Hamhead. I'm not blaming Fabianski. I'm actually blaming David Moyes for that. That's why I marked David Moyes down to about a 7, because like I say, I think substitutions. I think the one with Daniel Chester's could have been made earlier.
Yeah.
And to say, I think that he should have been getting either Fabianski to take that free kick and then getting all other 10 outfielders up, or getting Fabianski up, letting Cresswell take it, and just the fact that you've got a goalkeeper there, everyone's sort of looking at each other going, well, who the fuck's meant to be marking him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not blaming Fabianski at all.
Yeah, I listen, it is what it is, isn't it? And we can't go back and change it. And you know, yeah, I know that I'm looking forward to. I'm finishing work at 5:30, and then I'm off Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I honestly can't wait. I've got a good old weekend planned. Sahil, yes, but the problem is, Sahil, I'm noticing it more and more often in his game, and I don't know whether that's because he's trying too hard, or whether he's that's just his game, and it's quite irritating, really. But again, that selfishness is the wrong decisions. It's he's making the wrong choices. He's going to carry the ball a bit further, or he makes the wrong decision in a pass, and that's where it gets quite frustrating. But I think he has all the tools in his toolbox to become a top Premier League player. It's just a question of whether he uses it.
Yeah, fair enough. Any final words you want to sort of get out there, Duke, before we wrap it up?
Yes, for those of you who are not lucky enough to get yourself a ticket for the Europa League game against Seville on Thursday.
You're going to do a shameless plug, aren't you?
I'm going to do a massive shameless plug. That there is my pub. I will be sat watching the game. I will reserve. We've got new flower baskets now, not them dirty old ones.
You're going to have to get a new photograph, mate.
Might have to. We are in a, we've got a couple 6 TVs. All of them are going to be showing the games, sound on. I've got a couple of tables reserved in front of the TV. Come down and watch. My username is on the screen when he takes that away. It's at Hammers Duke. If not, message me through Forge from. Kids are killing me at the minute. Message me through the Forge from Iron Twitter page, or on there at Hammers Duke. Let me know you're coming down. I'll save you space. We can watch the game together.
That's
Quarter
enough
six.
of you.
Quarter 6 kickoff.
Can't refuse, sure.
And I might even buy the first round.
Well, that doesn't happen often. It has to be said.
Not at all.
Before we do wrap it up, please give a look to this Just Giving link. Jeremy Wheeler, who was on with Jake Cox on West Ham Unofficial, is doing a 13-mile walk in aid of the Alzheimer's Society. If any of you guys watching have seen the impact that happens to the person suffering Alzheimer's and to their immediate family, it's not pleasant, let me tell you. So if this resonates with any of you, as we did when we was rattling the tin for Isla, please go on to the Just Giving page. We ask you to give as generously as possible. There is no donation that is too small, but give what you can. It is very, very worthwhile cause. We thank you very much indeed for your attention in this matter. I will put that in the chat as well. Bear with whilst I just waffle on incoherently. There you go. It's coming in for your attention. Please don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your support. Even if what you're saying we don't agree with, it is what it is. That's, it's all about opinions, and we can bat it back and forth. That's what we enjoy. Anyway, Duke, what are we, my friend?
We're massive. We are massive, and I'm sticking by that.
Happy days. Come on, you irons.